Just chatting, huh?
Just chatting. How about them Rangers?
How's everybody? Man, what a great opener. Did you see that? Did you watch it?
I watched it. Watched it from my hotel.
Yeah, it was great. It was fun. It was kind of some dumbness, but it was
There
fun.
was. Especially, what's the catcher's name?
Heim. Yeah.
Especially that play there. He was
I mean, it was
busy.
an awful call.
It was. But
Spectacularly bad call.
yeah, it was. But then he forgot that the baseball was live.
We watched game 1 of the
Opening day.
2020.
161
season.
left. You're fine.
We're 1-0. We're
500.
tied for the lead. And
Hey, did the Royals win?
actually
Did the Royals win?
I don't know.
Who cares?
Might be the only time. That's the only time they can get above 500.
Dude, I like that hat. What is that hat?
This is the baseball team.
That's
oh,
cool.
what are you? Crusaders?
The Battle is what they call
That's
themselves.
sweet.
The Battle?
Yeah.
Oh,
That's a cool
All
hat,
black,
I
man.
do like it.
All
We
black
should-
jerseys. They're pretty sweet.
Oh, that could be tough in the sun.
Dude, it's like 32 degrees out there.
Well, it is right now.
It's spring.
You know what? We should make that our logo.
Yeah, and it's like it's low fitting, you know?
Yeah, it's a little
who
fitting.
came
It's
up
got
with that name?
Not me.
I like the material
Some mom,
too.
probably.
Some mom.
I don't know.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, baseball
cool.
season's kicking off. We're into spring.
Oh, one kid was using a drop 3 bat out there. I'm like, dude,
Whoa.
we can't.
How long was it?
It was 31. 31-inch bat.
A 9-year-old?
Yeah.
Use it a drop
Well,
331.
he used it to one at bat, and I'm like, dude, you can't swing it. Come on.
As tall as him.
It's like
I mean, he didn't
slinging the
hit it.
sledgehammer.
Yeah,
You should be using a drop 10, not a drop 3
That's funny.
that age.
right. That's a huge bat.
Yeah. Gotta love the rec ball. It's good times.
Oh.
It was fun.
Rec ball, huh?
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Yeah.
I like going out there and watching all of our friends play, and just watching baseball.
It's a lot cheaper.
Is way cheaper.
A lot cheaper. A lot less time.
Yep.
Just
Just go chill, have a hot dog,
my 2
popcorn,
cents. Yeah.
watch some baseball. It's fun.
Yeah, it's fun. So springtime. You guys doing all right? Enjoying the spring weather? It's getting a little
Enjoying
warmer.
it. Got my garden going.
good.
Got some stuff
Garden
sprouting.
going?
Yeah,
Okay.
from seeds. So that's a
Okay.
good sign.
Well, with springtime, what else do we have? We didn't. I think we missed this last year. We didn't talk about it much at all. But we have Easter,
No
Right?
kidding. Yeah, early Easter this year.
early Easter. It's coming in. Well, I guess it's coming in the 30. How many days are in March?
31.
31. March 31st
Yeah.
will be Easter.
Mm-hmm.
So this will come out a little after. But man, there's a lot of things that lead up to Easter, right? That we mark monumental things in Jesus' life, and one was. And now his announcement that, basically in the Spirit of God came down. What happened? Come on. Who is it?
This is Anthony's podcast.
His cousin.
Oh,
his cousin.
John the
yeah,
Baptist.
John,
John
the
the
Baptist.
And John the Baptist baptized Jesus.
He did.
That's right. So springtime.
And the
I don't know
heavens
why.
opened and God
It seemed-
spoke.
Actually, I got baptized. It wasn't Easter Sunday, but it was really close. It was really close when I got baptized. I remember that.
In a river?
Nope, in a baptismal. Yep, in a baptismal. So today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about baptism.
Yeah, I think it's good.
I grew up in a Baptist church. I think it was a big deal. However, it was only after decision, so
Yeah.
it wasn't nothing weird. Nothing weird. No offense, Presbyterians out there or Catholics. We didn't sprinkle babies.
That's Adam talking.
That's right.
We just call that
We're looking for
dedication.
sponsors, though. We are looking
Catholic
for
Church,
sponsors. Yeah, Catholic Church. If
Oh,
the
yeah.
Pope is interested, we'd be happy to have him on.
Does he speak English?
Oh, I assume he
He's
speaks
from-
a little bit.
Isn't he like the
yeah.
first pope from like South America though, or something?
I think he's
Something
from
like that?
Argentina.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
Argentina.
yep.
I think you're right.
Yep.
Still alive?
Yeah, I think
They
so.
live- They
I
live
don't know.
forever.
They do. On another podcast, there was a guy talking about the Catholic faith, and he mentioned that when he went and visited the Vatican, there was some mummified old popes in the church there, and I guess that's what
You can see it,
St.
huh?
Peter's Basilica. Yeah, you can see them. They're all like gray skin and nasty, but they just mummify them and they have like glass over them.
What?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
legit
Yeah,
creepy.
that is a little creepy. I'm not sure
Yeah.
I'd want to see that
I think they
necessarily,
open
but
and come out at night and walk around.
I wouldn't be surprised about that. Sounds like a good
Once
scary
again,
movie.
looking for sponsors.
Mhm.
You kind of talked yourself
Catholic
into a
Church.
hole here.
Yeah,
you
we-
probably just need to
listen,
stop.
if I end up dead in a couple weeks, then you guys know what happened. You know what happened. So, all right, well, let's
Back
talk.
to-
Let's
here
talk
we go.
about baptism. Let's get on it. Let's get on it. Off the Catholic Church and on to baptism.
Let's do it. Yeah, I thought about this because, I don't know. We all have young kids, right? And it comes up
Yes.
at church, right? In the youth and different areas of the youth, from third grade to DC 45 to 6th through 12th grade, and my son has been asking a little bit about baptism, and we've had actually a lot at our church lately, a lot of kids and stuff like that, and so it started making me think when is a good time? What do you guys think about kids being baptized? About that,
what do
and
you mean?
age, and in your opinion, when would be a good time? Because I don't think age is necessarily the common denominator, right? That's not the ultimate factor. I think there should be some other things in there to really show that hey, what's it truly look like to be a follower of Jesus at a young age, to know for sure when to be baptized, not just because, right? A lot of kids just see their friends get baptized. They're like, hey, I just want to do that. Right. Or, is there ever a time where your kids haven't been baptized and they're getting older and older, where you start to be maybe a little concerned? They're like, okay, maybe
What's the
are
concern?
they going to? Maybe they're not following Jesus. They're not going to.
I don't think there's an age requirement. My boys are, oh my goodness, 9 and 10. Almost forgot there. They're not baptized. They haven't been baptized yet, but they've asked Jesus into their heart a couple years ago. But I'm letting them start that conversation, like you said with Meyer. Come to us with it. And I know when I got baptized in a river, so it actually counted.
A real river, huh?
A real river.
Counted for what?
I'm just joking.
Salvation. I'm
Yeah.
just kidding.
Yeah.
Was it clean or dirty?
Are there any
What
clean
do you
rivers
mean?
around here?
Yeah, it was in Kansas. So
Was there any vans?
anyways, it's you don't want to do it too early, because I think then they might want to, I don't know. They just need to make sure they understand it fully before they do it. It's a big deal. I think our church does a good thing, like when they bring in the youth to come observe, like when their friends get baptized. So I don't think it's necessarily there's an age requirement. Like, people can get baptized at any age, as they get older and things like that. There's not I'm 25, can't get baptized.
Yeah, why is that?
Why is that?
Yeah, why doesn't it matter as much to do it right after you commit, understand
Well, some
your
people
sinner?
don't become Christians till later in life either.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. But let's talk about my daughters are in the same boat, my two youngest.
Okay.
So, I don't know.
Have they been baptized yet?
No,
Okay.
but Adeline is 12, just turned 12, and Olivia is 10. She'll be 11 this summer. And they've actually asked me if they could do it, and I still put it off. So
Why are you putting it off?
probably for the same reasons. I think that it can drive. So I don't believe it is part of the salvation process, right? I think that them understanding that they're okay. Yeah, that's kind of what I was getting at.
I mean,
why is it okay to wait? Is the point? So if
yeah, you do not have to be. I do not believe that you have to be baptized to go to heaven.
perfect, yeah,
Correct?
me neither. Yep. So that's why I think it's okay to wait, is because we're not. I mean, and not that it wouldn't be okay to wait with the salvation conversation as well, but them understanding that they're sinners and they need Jesus's sacrifice to bridge the gap to God is the most important thing. And I do truly believe that they get that. And there's other fruits there too. But I think being baptized can drive at a young age, can drive that question of, well, did I just get baptized?
Yep.
Right. And so I think I've known too many adults that felt like they need to go back through the process because either maybe drifted from God a bit or whatever the case is. So that's why I encourage the waiting.
And I'm one of them, right? That happened to me.
Yeah.
Right. So
That's
I was 12, but not a deep follower of Jesus. It was kind of like, I went to RAs, on Wednesday nights.
Royal
Ambassadors.
Did you have that?
At the Baptist
No,
church.
I didn't know that.
Went to Sunday school, and we did vacation Bible school and stuff like that. So I always say I kind of knew of Jesus, but never really knew who Jesus actually was and what he stood for. So it was kind of in that moment, it's like, hey, raise your hand if you don't want to go to hell, essentially, right? I'm like, oh yeah, that's me, right? And then you get out of church.
It's a hypothetical.
Oh,
question. It
okay.
wasn't
I'm sorry.
yeah.
I thought we were.
then you leave the church, right, a year later. So I was, 13? Or maybe even soon after that, my parents got divorced and stuff. And then I didn't go to church for like 20 years. And then I felt like that needed to, like, I just didn't feel like I really understood if I was saved or not. I wasn't
Gotcha.
sure. I questioned it.
Mm-hmm.
Did the church? Did our church come to you and ask you to be rebaptized?
No,
Or how'd that
they don't
process-
believe in, no.
So how'd that
No, our
process go?
Just got brought up because Jennifer had never been, she had been what we would call dedicated as a baby. The Catholic call baptized, as an infant.
Oh yeah.
So that's all she had done. So she wanted to, and then I figured that might be a good time for me to, I was like, maybe I should be rebaptized. And they made it clear that we don't, you don't have to be rebaptized, right, or anything like that. But they say if you choose to, you can, but that's not a requirement by any means.
Happy to dunk you.
Yes, exactly. Get some more use out of that water.
That's right. Were you first or last?
Yeah, you got to be the first. one.
I don't remember now.
Gross.
Nice.
That's cool. I was baptized young. I mean, I was 10, and I never really had any. Not saying that I was super solid my whole life, but I never had any doubts about that process. So
I think you were a little more in tune to the church and Jesus and what you were there about. And
it definitely
the
was.
process.
It was definitely a different situation with family for sure,
Yep.
where that was just part of what we did, and more for me was the coming to grips with did I make that decision based on my understanding and my experience with the Holy Spirit and Jesus, or is it because my parents did drag me there? So that was a big deal for me. But I never questioned like the process or the baptism again. So, but yeah, no, it's interesting, but that's why I wait with my kids. Now Asher and Avery. Asher was 12 and Avery was 10, but they both seemed pretty. It felt like it was okay. I don't know why.
Right.
The little girls are. It would probably be fine too. But I don't know why we put it off a little bit longer with them. But
So what
we
do you
have.
think your ideal age then for them is?
I don't know if it is.
I don't think there is an ideal age.
Yeah, I don't know if it is. I think to Lucas's point, because we don't believe that salvation comes from the water.
Yep.
I think that it drives some let's make sure that this is.
There's no rush, right?
Yeah, we don't need to
Yeah.
hash through it again.
You rather wait and
Yeah.
do it correctly, if correctly is the right word, than do it too early.
Mm-hmm.
That's my,
Yeah.
like I mean, I'm sure there's been 5-6-year-olds baptized, but I think that's pretty young. If you're throwing out
Yeah, I would
ages,
agree. Yeah, I would
you
agree.
know, I mean, it's a solid commitment.
Yeah.
Does our church, Discovery Church, have a program that they go through before you get baptized, or is like
Yeah, there's a packet, and you sit down with one of the pastors and you answer questions. I think they have quite a few questions. You have to answer them on your own and talk to them before they'll actually give their blessing on that too.
Okay.
So there are some young ones that I've seen get baptized in there, but
Sure. And
I mean,
everybody's
not
different.
It's their parents' call. It's not my call when they get baptized.
yeah, it's
Yep.
tough. Interesting conversation. How do you feel about? I baptized Asher and Avery, my two oldest. I really found that to be. I knew it was. I don't know if you and I have talked about that. I don't think you and I have.
but the question: should the pastor do it, or is it okay for you to do it? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah. How do you
Yep.
feel about that?
I think it's fine for a parent to do it. That's not how. When I was raised, it was always the pastor doing it.
Oh, yeah.
So a few years ago, we started going to another church, and the parents would do it. I'm like, well, that was new to me. You
Yeah,
know, I'm
sure.
34 years old. I'm like, that's new, but I don't think there's anything
Real high,
right.
Like-
slam them in the water.
Choke
Right.
slam them down? Is that legal?
And every church does
Yeah.
it differently too, right? Like every church does a little bit
Yeah.
differently.
Yeah, there's a church in our community. They go to the lake, do like a mass one.
Yeah,
The
and that's
pastor
kinda
just runs
cool.
by. And, I'm just kidding. I don't know how it works.
I kind of like that too, where the
Yeah, it's
church
cool.
makes a big deal out of
Yeah, it's
it,
good.
and the congregation goes out with them, and it kind of makes it a.
Yeah,
That's
it's
kind of how I
celebration.
Did it.
Kind of.
I feel like with that though, you got to have a pretty big church because you got to have a pretty good turnout for of baptisms
Celebration.
to
And they
for
might
that
just
to
do
work
it
out right.
once a year or once in the
Yeah, maybe.
twice a year.
Yeah, I think
don't
they
know.
do it. I mean, hopefully when it's warm, but they, yeah, I think it is like once a summer, maybe towards the end, big celebration. For my kids, we did it in the evening. And we did do it at the church, and we had like kind of a party. It was fun. We invited a bunch of people, and There's a couple other families with some kiddos and an adult being baptized that evening, and we had a good time. But it was not the whole congregation, which I do find to be I found it to be a little odd, because I think that's the big purpose, or one of the big purposes, is to kind of I say coming out party.
Right.
It means something different in our culture now, but like, hey, I'm choosing this, and I want everybody to know. Right? Like, I'm pumped.
Yep.
And so I do think that might be something that I would think,
and
maybe.
It gives you strength too when you're getting baptized and you see everyone else. They go, who else has been baptized or whatever?
Yeah.
Then you all raise your hand or whatever. And there's hundreds of people who have done it. That gives you confidence and strength. Like, hey, I'm not here alone too. You know?
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, no ideal age that I can think of. Just more of that understanding. Yeah, I think too, when I know it's tough, man. And we're gonna talk about this in a future episode of just like your kid's desire. You'll watch it rise and fall.
Yep.
And so, like, it's also interesting to think about, which we do as adults too, right? We kind of pull away and pull back, pull back, and we hope that like the rise and fall gets like shallower as I guess we're getting older.
Yep. The porpoise.
Yeah, the porpoise. Yeah, the up and down. It gets a little shallower, but I do think that's something too that you kind of watch and you're like, well, you know. But that's kind of funny. But yeah, I guess no perfect time. I it's a lot of prayer, maybe, and not maybe. I shouldn't say maybe.
Is there any other
A lot of prayer.
Is there any other qualities you think you should see in your kid before you let him get baptized? Like, hey, you know, what's it look like to be a true disciple of Jesus, right? And that takes time in your Bible, right? Showing fruits of the Spirit. Do you think all that plays into, you know, them being baptized and saying, okay, now you're ready? You know, you take time on your own.
Till I was like 34, so that was the case. Yeah. No, I think that probably could play into it. Like I said, I think Asher and Avery demonstrated some of that pretty quickly after. Well, and like I said, we did them together because they had each accepted Christ like a few. I mean, we did wait a couple years, but yeah, it's interesting. It's an interesting conversation. I do think it helps with the understanding that, well, at least we don't believe that the water has the saving power. So I think that helps not to rush into it. But I also wonder if it's like, conversely, we maybe slow roll it a little too much. I don't know.
Yep.
Yeah, I do. It's very interesting.
What about this question? What about it's not written in the Bible? What's an age where your kids, do you think that they need to make that choice of being saved or not if they happen to pass away?
That wasn't part of the
That's okay.
questions coming up.
That's tough, man. Age of accountability. I think it's...
Well, I don't know if that's an age thing. That's more of like
not,
a cognitive thing, because there's...
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, God knows. I mean, that's the simple answer there. God knows.
They know we're on air
something
here.
happened.
Yeah.
What's happening? I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I
don't think there's an age like, oh, you're not saved and you died in a car wreck at age 6, you're going to hell, or you know what I mean? Like that's not a.
Yeah, that's tough. Yeah, things I probably don't like to think about.
Yeah.
Not just for my own kiddo's sake, which I'm good in that department now, but even close friends you have, or family you have that are not. I mean, you just obvious that they're not in line with God, and I think, man, that just should drive us harder to care more. The visual that somebody said once was, you should picture your lost acquaintances and family members and even people that you don't know with this giant pit of hell underneath them.
Yeah.
Like they're just suspended. I don't remember who said that, but I don't think we do a good job of that. And just to be clear, we don't. You know, we've said that enough. The baptism doesn't matter for that, but the precursor, right? The precursor, the acceptance of Christ as your Savior.
Yep. Because now, I mean, just recently, you know, we obviously talk to God to our kids and preach into them and this and that, but still it's up to them, right? And this is the first time at 9 years old where, you know, my son's now coming and say, hey, what do I need to be saved? Because he hears these things at, you know, school too, and church and stuff like that. And we went through the whole thing, but it's like, you know, as if your kid's 5, 6 years old, you know, they may not understand exactly what that means. and it's it's just something to think about. I think when you have young kids and
Yeah.
you think about others with kids, like you said, and it's just, I don't know, just kind of got me thinking. It's a tough question, tough thought, but yeah, like you said, maybe motivation to really pour into our kids and all the kids that we volunteered for on the weekends, right?
Yep.
That you're like, man, these kids, they got some issues.
Yeah.
But the reality is, what you say and how you act around them may impact what they believe in the future.
Yeah, maybe, and that's probably worth another episode right there.
So-
That conversation alone. Yeah. Woo.
Mm.
That's a tough one, man. And I'm sure there's some scripture there to talk through that a bit, but I do think, and children have, we're going to talk about this too in a future episode, but children do have incredible amount of faith, and they understand probably more than we give them credit for.
I think so, too.
Often. So that's why it's imperative. I mean, as a parent, that it is almost part of your being, I guess. I don't know how to put it. Bethany and I talk about that a lot. How we do drift in and out of that as a family, where we try to hit a Bible study together, and then we'll go through phases where we're super busy, right?
Mhm.
You guys
Yep.
just mentioned that, just
Yep.
busy weeks, and man, it is important that it's like almost like you're. It's just part of what you do, It's just in the flow of family. I don't know how to put it, where it's grace and God and opportunity to talk about his love for us and what his sacrifice for us. And man, yeah, it's a big deal. Woo.
Yep. Yeah, tough question.
Tough question. Baptism though, not as much.
Nope.
Still tough though, right?
Yeah.
Like when your kid's like, I want to be baptized. Well, then there's because I think there's that could happen too when they see their friends doing it or whatever.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to be baptized.
Well, that's how Meyer did with
yeah.
me, and I'm just kind of, we talked about, hey, what's it take to be saved, right?
Yep.
Get that one checked for sure, and ask the questions. Do you believe this? Do you believe this? Yep. And then it's like, oh, okay, I want to be baptized, and then I can just kind of be like, well, we'll talk later.
Yeah.
Right. That's just kind of how I see it, because I was baptized at a young age, even
Sure.
older than that, and I still not, I rebaptized. Not that I needed to,
Rebaptized.
I guess.
We call you
Redunked.
the Baptinator.
Yeah, there we go.
The Baptizator. I don't know. I like that. That'd
yeah,
be
I
a
thought
good
it-
name for a team. No.
I just thought it would be a good conversation to say, hey, what's a good age? Which, right, there's no necessarily hard stone age, but maybe qualities to look for, before, and not just, hey, somebody else in my class got baptized or whatever.
I think I would go ahead and baptize the little girls now, if that helps. They're 10 and 12. I think they get it. I think they understand, and I think too. When we talk about this too, like we're always a little bit better than our parents. And my parents are great, but I think having that open conversation about what it means and what role it plays in your salvation, and blah 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 going down the road. I think that could help too, right? Maybe help clear up some confusion, because you didn't have it, right? You just got baptized, and then so I think that could help. Yeah, it's good. It's good conversation. Well, now we got two others that we'll talk about.
Perfect.
Maybe we can get in communion sometime too. Does that? Oh my goodness, Lucas, you excited? And then we'll do politics.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the politics.
I'm ready too.
Ready?
Yeah.
Do it right now?
No, we don't have time. We gotta go.
That's true.
We're trying to keep these a little bit shorter, right? So, all right. Well, baptism, springtime, baseball, Easter, baptism.
Yeah,
That's awful. I didn't know.
Not in that order.
Not in that order. It's not in that order. Oh man. Well, you guys good?
Yep.
You good?
All set.
right. Well, we'll talk to y'all later. Adios.